Coming from the Caveman Studios in Buffalo, New York. Welcome to Caveman Corner with your host, Jeff.
Captain Caveman!
Thanks.
Click subscribe and the bell. Do it now!
And we're live. We're here with Keenan the Butcher Hinds. How you doing, Keenan?
I'm doing great today. Just coming off a morning of, hard sparring, getting ready for the fight. And then when I'm done here, I got some bike work to do. It's raining outside, so I'm going to hit my cardio up on the bike and then probably finish the night with the sauna session. So it never stops.
Oh, man. Sure doesn't. And, man, we were just talking about this before we went live about, like, right before Keenan's last fight, title eliminator fight, put him in the spot that he's fighting for the title in the next fight for 140 pounds, K-4, coming up soon. And, man, right before you did that last fight, I put together this Muay Thai camp with Crew Mark Shaw, and you did the whole Thai camp, a 3-hour Thai training session before his fight. Not only that, there was some live sparring elements. Keenan did the first live sparring elements, and I was like, what the hell is going on? Why is Keenan sparring? And then we were in the same group for the second round of it, and we were about to do live clinch sparring, and I grabbed you and I threw you out, and I took your spot, man. I didn't mean to take your spot, but man, if you got hurt, Keith would kill me. So
yeah, I don't want to see you two go at it in the ring. That'd be too crazy. But no, I was thinking about it today, you pushing me off the mat, and it kind of brings me into the mindset of what champions are doing now. I was watching Marab from the UFC. He sparred 5 rounds before his last fight. And it was just to be, not that I'm at his level, but just to be in the same mindset to know, hey, the work never stops. Fight day, after weigh-ins, like you have to just keep adding bricks, and layering the cake as often as you can. I definitely had fun at the seminar. It was great. Big shout out to Crew Mark and you guys. But I think that's, and the story goes for me and my team, like we usually do like a morning shakeout, right? In the morning, 10 a.m. That way, when we get in the cage, we're not hitting something for the first time, and getting that zing and feeling like, or something getting thrown at us on the respective side, So it's something that I feel like I had to do that morning. And honestly, some of the stuff that I learned there, I used in the fight. So it was actually really beneficial.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's awesome I did that too. But 3 hours is a long time on your feet before a fight after weight cut. I'm not sure I would do that. I also agree that you should do a morning shakeout, but I usually kept mine to 20 minutes at the max. And then, because you shake out in the very morning, you get all that rust off, and then you break wind again, a few hours before the fight, before you go to the lockdown. Then you warm up before the fight, So it's like a normal day. Right. You only get 3 sweat breaks, but man, not like 3 hours of standing around and getting thrown on your head, and
Yep. I was getting. I loved it. I was getting swept and used as an example, and I'm like, oh, okay, we're going full on then.
Yeah.
So it was good.
Crew Mark's built from a different cloth as well. He doesn't really care about
for sure, for sure. But to be around that type of energy the morning before a fight, it kind of just makes you realize, like, you can't have excuses in this business. You have to train as often as you can, whether it be light or hard. You have to train. It's an obligation. And yeah, I guess, I would love to do it in increments over the course of the day, but if my plate is full, I'm going to eat.
Yeah, dude, it's definitely full. And you're nicknamed the Butcher not because you slice people up yet. I'm sure that's going to be another meaning of your nickname, but you actually are a butcher. So you work full time too. So can you talk about how you break up your training schedule and your work schedule? Because I know Butcher's got to be up early working too.
Oh yeah. So we're looking at. I'm usually up around 3:30. I try to get at least a mile run in, if not some sprints early in the morning. And then I'm usually on my way to work no later than 5 a.m. and I'm clocking in between 6 and 7. And then I'm just cutting meat and filling the shelves and keeping the cases full. And then,
There we go. Cool. Lost you for a second, but I got you.
Oh yeah, and then from there, it's straight into training. I get out of work at about 2:30, and I like to be early to the gym. Class doesn't start till about 4, but I try to be there as early as possible, 3:30 if I can. I might grab something to eat before. And then from 4 to 7, it's just drilling constantly, partner drills, footwork drills, and just going over, what's next in the building process. So, yeah. And then from there, I usually get out of practice around 7. I'll come home, I'll hang out with my family, and then as soon as I get to put them to bed and the commotion's done in the house, I usually go out for a run. So it's just me on the road at night, around 8:30, and I'm just getting my thoughts processed, thinking about the fight, trying to visualize, so yeah, it's an all day thing for me.
How hard is the weight cut down to 140 for you? You're ratherly, I don't mean to say this like
No,
mean,
you're
but
fine.
you're a rather large guy, like pretty big, pretty strong. Sweep battles are
Yeah.
pretty tight. You're very strong in the clinch. So
Yes, sir.
how hard is it to get down from 140 for you?
So it's been the same thing, and we had some kind of like obstacles this camp, not necessarily with the weight cut, but more so with the scheduling of my fights. I wasn't sure if I was going to be fighting at 45 initially and to be fighting maybe a month or so ago. So there was some meal prepping that was done, and then I wasn't sure if I was going to fight. So I was like, okay, well, I don't have to meal prep as much. So instead of going with the normal route for me, which is just kind of be the old school way, the plastic bags, the fasting, the insane amounts of cardio, this time I've kind of dialed it back and really just try to, fix my diet so that I can get the most out of my training sessions. Because I mean, how many combos can you knock out in a 2-minute period if you haven't eaten for 72 hours, and your energy is extremely low. So I wanted to get the most out of my training. So I've been I just cut the calories this time. We're looking at like 1,800 calories per day. Specific meal windows, specific meal times. I eat before practice, I'll eat in the morning, and I'll eat lunch. So I'm getting three meals and a snack, and the weight's been coming off honestly faster than it was when I was fasting, because in my research, I do a tumultuous amount of research when it comes to dieting. Your body holds on to things when you're fasting, because it's in survival mode. Whereas, if I'm eating and just training normally, I'm dropping weight really quick. So we're right on track. I won't give too much details. I can't give too many secrets away, but we're right on track, and I think a new approach at this time, it's just another rung, another staple on the wall. 5 rounds, championship fight, new opponent. Let's try something new. So yeah.
For sure. I was pretty inspired by watching your the owner of Connect, one of the owners of Connect, Josh.
Yep.
Josh Roth. He went on to that 5% body fat challenge that
Yep.
he's doing, and he was writing all about it on Substack, and I've been following along. And if any of you guys want to subscribe to Substack, definitely check it out.
Yeah, do that.
Put the link in here, dude. He talked about like all the ways that he's changed to get down to 5% body fat, and
Yeah.
it was an interesting read, and he's a very cerebral guy for being so big and so strong.
Oh yeah.
So mean looking.
Definitely. And you have to be that way and extremely disciplined to know like what your body wants, but also what you can't have. There's that thin line between both, and I was thinking about it yesterday just in my leisure time. It's like eating and training and things like that. There's a fine line between the art and the primal instincts that we have every day. You can be as vicious as you want, but you also have to take and feed into those primal instincts. So fasting, I feel like it feeds into both. There's an art to it. You have to do it correctly, and getting down to 5% it's not easy. It's not easy at all. So yeah, I understand that full heartedly.
Yeah, he talked all about the same things you're talking about balancing your macros and just how you had to do it, and like how all the fat diets sometimes don't work, and you're taking things away, and like it felt like you were speaking the same language. So I was just
it's definitely the same. It's definitely the same. And you want to have those energy restored, those storages of energy kind of just there for you. And when you're eating normally, it's there, but it's a battle. It's a mental battle when you're not eating normally. You know, it really is something you have to be a special kind of person to deal with. You know, and you've weight cut before, so I'm sure you know what it's like.
Yeah. 100%.
Even just fight week, you know, you really have to dial in even more and still meet the coach's demands. But to have to do road work and lift and, you know, strength and conditioning and things like that, it takes a special human being. So hats off to Josh Roth.
Yeah. Fighting 35 and 45, man. I'm a big guy for 35, 45. Like, those cuts were brutal. And like the week of the fight, the week of the fight is probably the weakest I am the whole time. But then you
Yeah.
peak out once you get refueled and you get those carbs back in you and the food back in you, man.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
fight night, you're primed and you're ready. And
Yeah. As
like
sharp
that's
as
a
you can
great
be.
feeling. Going from being that weak to being super strong is the feeling that I love the most. Like because that last week, you have to make the weight. You don't have a choice. It's not like you're eating for health. You're not eating for anything. You're eating to make that weight,
Yeah.
and like, that's something that you guys have to struggle with. And for me, once I went up to 55 and had the weight cut, like it felt totally different for me. And I was older, so I was fighting, like guys that weren't like killing themselves to make 55 either.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But like it's a completely different feeling of going through fight week like with energy and feeling good.
I
And
agree. I
yeah,
agree.
it's crazy.
Even my fight at 55 with Dylan Tharp, shout out to him, but that was a completely different camp. And the cut was a lot different. I was coming off I can tell the story now, but I was coming off of my children being born, and I had a lot of time off, and I decided to take my first fight. And I'll tell you, when I initially decided to book the fight, I was 183 pounds. And yeah, and I didn't have any of the experience that I had. I didn't have any of the dieting experience. I went down those rabbit holes on YouTube, and I was like, okay, how can I do this right? And I started to really study and figure out, okay, I have to change certain things, took away certain habits. But my point is, like, to have that much energy during fight week is it can make or break some people. It really can. And there's a huge difference between 45 and 55. It's just 10 pounds, but you'd be surprised how completely different you feel, and I'm sure it's going to kick me in the butt this week too. And the next week's coming, but I feel like I'm mentally prepared for it because of what I've been through already. So yeah,
100%.
trust the process.
How does it feel to finally get a title shot? I've been saying you should be fighting for the title for, I don't know, all of this year and some of last year too. Every time you fight, I'm like, Keenan Hinds, man, he's not super good at anything, but he's good, very good
Yeah.
at every
Yeah.
single part of the process. There, you have
Right.
no weaknesses and you have nothing but strength. So fighting you is very difficult. You're good at going backwards. You're good at going forwards. You're good at making angles. You're good at cutting angles. You're good at taking
Yeah.
angles away. You're good in the clinch. You're good outside the clinch. You got good elbows. Got good knees. Like there's nothing where I would say like you're the very best in the division at it, but there's
Right.
nothing where I would say that you're weak in. And every one of
Right.
your things is comparable to someone else that's like elite. So everything you do is really good. And
Yeah.
I've been saying this for a long time. All your fights are pretty much the same. It's you finding your opponent's holes and then you picking them apart. I've been pushing you for a title fight forever. Keith doesn't listen to me as much as I think he should, but I'm
Yeah.
so excited that you're finally getting this opportunity.
Well, we could start there. I mean, I don't after my first loss, I really took a step back and was like, you know what? Instead of game planning for a specific opponent, I just need to get better as a Muay Thai athlete. I just need to get better as a kickboxer. There's nothing more that I need to do than that. It's great to have a target in mind, but and I know what guys do, but overall, I always want to be adding elements to my game and going back and taking care of those fundamentals. Now, as far as fighting for a title, going back to my first loss, it was more just I didn't think I was deserving of it. Whether or not Keith gave it to me, that was kind of just his choice. And shout outs to him. He's a mastermind. Trust me. I'll show you our texts one day, and you got to realize this dude he's an evil genius. We'll say that. But yeah, but for me, it was more just okay. I've taken this loss. I need to figure out the holes in my game and then become deserving of a championship. I don't want to be a paper champion. I want when they put the belt around my waist, it makes sense, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And I had to kind of teeter away from my discipline with a kickboxing fight with Wendell, so I could understand the power that I have in my hands, and the pushing the pace that I have to do. And then I had to kind of study the opposite stance in southpaw against Aaron Buckley and see like how I could use that to my advantage. So I think it's been 2 years or a year, but building back up to what I feel like title contention is it's been a long process, but I think it's right on track. Perfect timing for me in the way things have happened. So it's a little lighter than I would like. I still want to take my chances at 145, but for now, 140 is good for me. So yeah,
All right.
I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
I'm going to pop that up right now. So Hinds versus Monaco is going to take place Saturday, November 8th. It's called K-4 Battlegrounds. It's going to be at Riverworks. We're back in Buffalo, 359 Kansas Street. Make sure you're there. They're doing a lot of stuff for the veterans at this event too. But man, one of the top fights, one of the top billings on the card is this Hinds versus Monaco fight, and it is going to be very, very, very good. What do you know? What do you know about Alex Monaco?
So funny enough, going back to Keith, like he's neck deep in the Muay Thai game. So when he sends me opponents, I have a tendency to look up everybody. I don't just pick one guy and I'm like, oh, I like him. I kind of stare at the canvas and I'm like, all right, fine. So long story short, when I was getting ready to sign up to fight Wendell, or I was looking for a fight, he sent me 2 names. And it was Wendell at first and it was Alex Monaco. I had been coming off a year layoff and I didn't feel ready. And that's out of respect for my opponents. It didn't matter if it was, Joe Schmo. If I'm coming off a year, I need some time to get ready. So long story short, I had both of them on the list. And funny enough, they've already fought. So in watching film, I watched Wendell and I'm indirectly watching Alex. And I'm like, wow, okay, this guy's really good. So I'm like, all right, I'll see what I can do with Wendell. Get in there. We had that fight. It went well. And then I wanted to actually fight Alex earlier in the year, back in August when I fought Buckley. Scheduling changes, and he's a very active fighter. A lot of respect to him. So he was busy, and Aaron Buckley was looking for a fight, and that's what was on the table. So again, that's 2 times now he's come up, and that prompted me to go back and film study him again, just thinking I was going to get him. I was preparing for him, and then I got Aaron Buckley. Fine. And then this time I was looking to fight in October, and he seemed like he was ready, but then I found out he had a fight down in Warriors Cup in New York City. And like I said, he's been extremely active down there in that circuit, and those are some high-level guys. And, I was like, okay, well, let me get ready for November 8th. And everything kind of just fell into place. So it's been kind of I'm kind of weird about that. I feel like the universe puts things in your face, and eventually you're going to have to open that door. You know what I mean? And for him to be on my table 3 separate occasions, it's kind of time for it to happen, whether I want to or not.
Yeah, I think the Buckley fight is very similar to his fighting style. I don't mean this is any disrespect.
No slight with him. Yeah,
to Buckley at all. But
because they're both animals. Yeah.
Yeah, he moves forward. He has a much better feeling for the range than Aaron did.
Right.
Aaron was coming forward, and you were making a miss with like very simple footwork at times. Not simple, right, but very good timing.
Yeah.
This time he's gonna be better. He's gonna come forward a little bit harder than Buckley did, and he's gonna have a little bit more to offer you than Aaron Buckley. So I think that was like a great preview of this fight coming forward.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it goes back to what, your question before, getting ready for a title fight and if I deserve it. To have those fights before that kind of got me ready for him, it's perfect timing. Him coming forward is something that I definitely paid attention to. His record is thick, right? Like 3-0 in MMA. All right, well
And,
now I
and a
know
champ.
he
3-0 and a
yeah,
champ.
and
I
a
mean,
champion. Oh no, I can't take that from him. He's definitely already been a champion. You know, I was getting to that, but it's him coming forward that's going to be something that it's going to push me to show what I have there and make those proper adjustments. And then with such a dense record in, Muay Thai, I really have yet to see anyone make him take a step back. So it's going to come down to me to make some decisions and, some silent agreements or disagreements, with him. So, yeah.
I did the breakdown for your fight already, so you guys have probably both already seen it. But I think this fight's gonna come down to the clinch at times because you guys are both. He's gonna come forward into enough times to feel the clinch, and he's
Right.
strong in the clinch. And I feel like you're very very underrated in the clinch, especially after last time where he made me sweep myself. So. Oh man, that was embarrassing. But anyways, I feel like
The floor was wet. No worries.
yeah, the floor was wet. It was very sweaty. We had shin pads on.
Yep,
There's
yep.
a million excuses. I got enough. I'm old enough to have every excuse that there is.
Right. Yeah.
I think the fight's gonna come down to the clinch, and I'm excited to watch this fight very, very much because I think I've seen him fight. He fights in a ring a lot too, so I think
Yeah.
you having the cage experience might help you a little bit there as well.
Right. And I can agree with that. I think the spacing might be a little bit different. But that's the thing about a forward style, right? It allows me time to figure out like if I want to be in the clinch or if I don't, and I feel comfortable there. So for me, it's more just making him uncomfortable. I don't plan on out muscling him. He clearly looks like dude's built like Volkanovski, like he's huge, So for me, he looks like a rugby player. So for me, it's being slick and using my balance to make things happen instead of trying to out muscle him. And it's as simple as that. That's just how the clinch goes. The one that keeps their balance is who's going to win there. So yeah, I think that's a huge part of it. And to finally be able to now like have a fight where I can use elbows. I haven't had an elbow fight in 2 fights, so it's like, it's great. Like I'm excited for that too. Yeah.
Yeah, so you were supposed to have an elbow fight, right? And then it fell through, and then the
Yep.
Buckley exchange. Yeah, I remember that. That was kind of a misinterpretation going back and forth.
Yeah.
I know we trained elbows quite a bit leading into that when you came in. We don't train. We train together, but I don't really train with Keenan.
Yeah, no, we were throwing elbows during our
Yeah.
sessions. So
Yeah,
I
for
had
sure.
already my mind was definitely leading in that direction, and to now get back to that is kind of I feel like it's Keith's indirect gift to me. Like, here you go, there's your little elbow fight now, and I'm happy about that. It kind of puts me in a good mood to be able to show a different part of my game and also to deal with it, right? Like, because for every new weapon that you get, there's a defense you have to understand in there too. And Alex has some very fierce elbows. I've seen him do a lot in that department, whether it be in the clinch, whether it be just walking forward and throwing in a good old elbow. So it's something that I have to be more aware of and really take the time to use properly if we're gonna have a good fight here. So yep.
Yeah, I'm excited for it, man. I can't wait to watch this fight. Do you have any sponsors to thank while we're talking about the fight? And I got some personal questions to ask you too.
I want to thank the Eatery in Jamestown. If you're ever in Jamestown, please stop by the Eatery, grab yourself some breakfast for your fighters, get your protein, get your carbohydrates with the pancakes. They're great. The eggs, good glycogen storage. Shout out to the Eatery. And just my gym, Kinetics Combat Sports and Fitness. Yeah, they've just been very supportive and helped me along the way, and people are sacrificing their time all the time to, you know, make adjustments to help me make adjustments. So, yep.
You talked about your kids earlier on. I was going to jump in, but I wanted to make sure we got all the fight talk in before we talk about Keenan in person. And
Yep.
I know what a great person you are because I train with you all the time. You come into the gym and we goof around and we talk and we hang out. Like on here, you're all serious, but Keenan's really a super nice guy. And Like he's very introspectful. I don't know. He's a smart guy, so he uses lots of smart people words. And sometimes I don't know what he's saying, but he's a super cool guy, and we have cool conversations. But man, you're the first person I ever seen propose in the cage,
Yep.
and like that was an amazing thing. It's the first time I ever recall that. This is the first time I've ever seen or heard about it.
Right.
Man, what was that like? That's probably more nerve wracking than the fight itself, for sure, right?
So I'll give you the whole story. You know, like I had planned on proposing a couple years prior, or at least a year prior, and the fight didn't go the way I wanted it to go. And I was like, man, this probably isn't the moment. And I'm kind of superstitious in the way, like I was on the way to the venue, and for whatever reason, this is the first time I thought about proposing. I forgot the ring. So in my superstitious mind, I'm like, yeah, it's not the night. You know what I mean? That for that to happen, it's like, you know, okay, fine. So fast forward to, you know, last year when I proposed, got the ring, everything's right. You know, I put it in there with my mouth guard. Cool. We get to the venue, and it was kind of a dual faceted mind state. So, you know, layman's terms, my brain was cut in half. I got to win the fight, and I got to propose. So it's double pressure, you know? And it was to the point where I really had to start to focus on one thing at a time. I'm in the locker room, I'm hitting pads, and I'm like, I'm feeling it. I'm like, man, like I this has got to be the greatest night of my life. Like I have to show up tonight. You know what I mean? And it was a little bit of added pressure, but once the music hit and the lights came on, my mind was completely focused on that fight. And I heard her voice, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm still where I need to be, 1 foot at a time. And to get through the fight, you know, and do it the way I did, to score, you know, my first knockout ever, and then to be able to propose in that manner, it was a few different things, you know. It was a lot of pressure. I mean, I'm not one to like do anything public, really, you know. So it was huge for me, but it kind of worked out because I got a free camera work. I got an amazing announcer to help me with it, so it went well. But yeah, there was definitely some added pressure there, and you know, I'm like I said, I'm a private person, but I think if there was any time to do it, I wanted to do it then. And the message that I was trying to send, because my son was also there, to make a long story short, I want everyone involved with my fight career to know that these moments, they're for me, but they're also for everyone else, right? Like that's how this works. It's a team sport. It's a family sport. So if I get up, you get up. If I fall, you fall too, in a way, you know. So I wanted everyone to be part of that, and even just the guys in the arena, I wanted them to see like, hey, man, this doesn't work if we don't have the people around us to help. So I hope that message got across. But yeah, I was nervous as hell. To summarize, I was nervous as hell, man.
I was super proud of you. I know how private you are. I know how different you are in public because you're not like this when we train. Like you got your smart people glasses on, and you're like saying all smart stuff instead of like joking around. And I love it. I love it to death. But man, like for you to do that was pretty amazing. And then we got a little bit of trouble for letting everyone in the ring, but we made it happen.
No, I appreciate you guys for doing that, man.
Tom and Gamma weren't too happy that we're sneaking, you know, non-combatants into the cage, but I thought it was important, and I'm so happy that we were able to give you that. And that's one of the happiest moments I've seen in K4, and that's great. It's so awesome that happened.
And I love the promotion. You know, I love Gamma. Big shout out to Tom Kilkenny. He's awesome. Like, I try to be as respectful as I can of the rules and, you know, all of the stipulations. I know New York is hard to, you know, get a lot of things through with. So for him to allow that, that's like, for me, that was an extremely humbling experience. And I won't do it again. I'll say that. But, you know, it was something that I had planned it in my head. And it almost was part of the fight, right, Caveman? Like, I had to visualize myself winning, but then I had to visualize how I'm going to say what I wanted to say, you know what I mean? And some stuff was off the cuff, and I kind of just went with what my chest was telling me, but a lot of it was mentally just putting it in the right place and, you know, not wanting to take away anything from that moment. You know, we could have talked about me getting a title shot then, but going along with what we said earlier and what I said, it wouldn't have been in the right timing for me to do it. So I think putting my marriage and my family and my life outside of fighting first at that moment was the perfect thing to do, and it helped me to now steamroll to where we are now. So yeah, it was right on time. It was perfect for me.
That is perfect too. And man, I wish you would have let me in. I knew you were like, watch this. I got something for you, Kate, man. Watch what happens after. But I didn't think it was that. I thought you were gonna call up the champ like I've been thinking. And
Well, that's the thing, man. I'm so superstitious. I'm like, man, if I tell him, maybe it won't happen. Like, who knows? I lose by a split decision. You know, if I give my coach the ring, maybe he drops it in some Vaseline and forgets it somewhere. Like, I was just like, I didn't want anything to go wrong, so it just kind of was me being just super cautious, you know. And next time I'll let you know for sure.
yeah. All right, man. We can help you make it a little bit better and stuff. We could have had things all set up, but man, I couldn't have worked out any better. And I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah. Maybe we'll do an anniversary thing.
yeah, I think that's like one of the best things that you can do is show like how important family is. And man, wives and girlfriends you guys athletes don't get enough respect to
Oh
put up with
yeah, for sure.
everything they have to put up with for us to be able to fight and do the
Yeah.
things. Even the commentators and the promoter and
Yeah, it's a
everyone
lot.
involved.
It's a lot. Your family has to be involved, and just in small things like helping me take care of my diet, keeping me accountable. Hey, aren't you supposed to be outside running right now? Like little things like that mean so much to me, and to be able to just give her that moment that she can have, and think about once in a while when we're going through those tough times of, me having fight after fight after fight. I always want to show her that respect, and then that goes on to just anyone that's helping out a fighter. It can be a heavy thing to carry as a supporter. So I always want to give my hats off to people that support the fighters and look after us and take care of us. So yeah.
It's really easy for us to lose the fact that you're giving up your time with us for us to go train because we
Yeah.
come home
Yeah.
tired, we're beat up, we don't even recognize like we're putting so much of ourselves into this dream,
Yep.
and like that
They
that's a
get
poor
what's
person.
left.
Yeah, they get what's
Yeah,
left.
they get what's left.
Some days it's nothing, and
Trust me, I know. you
for all
know.
all your wives and girlfriends that are taking care of all that, like I'm so proud of Keenan for showing out what it means to be a good husband too, and the times that you have that you share your victories, like your victories come together, your losses come together, right? You're a team,
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
awesome. The greatest thing I could have seen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, man, that's about all I got. I got one more question actually because I didn't ask it
Sure,
during the
go
fight.
ahead. You fire them
What
off, man.
what is your prediction for this fight?
um Man, you love stirring the pot.
I do, man.
Well,
I'm picking fights, dog.
well, this is the thing, right? Like I said, he's a forward fighter. Without giving away too much, he's there to be hit. Um, that's the best way I could put it. He's there to be hit. I have certain things that I know I can hit him with, and I'm not gonna hesitate in firing them off. I don't plan on being gun shy. I know he's not. And I got to get my respect as early as I can. So, if we can land some significant shots, that's something that I think will help sway a decision for me. And then, man, if I could touch that chin and once or twice, I mean, I feel like he'll understand, the language that we have in the ring. But I'm just honestly, and this is me being 1,000% transparent. Like, I almost wanted to go 5 rounds, right? Because I need answers too, right? It's about the title, it's about the win, yes. But I need to know if my gas tank is there. I need to know if, I'm durable enough for the next guy. And I'm not looking past him at all. So please, no one take any disrespect. I don't need to give him any more reason to punch me. But my point is just I want to make sure that I'm ready for challenges in the future, and I want to answer those questions. It's always been like, for me in my camp, it's been like, well, if you had another round, what would happen? So this is going to answer those questions, and I see it going 5 rounds, but who knows?
Yeah, and you're finding a guy that's fought Warriors Cup, like the best that you can get around in the state, and
Yep.
now we're gonna see like Keenan's gonna make a
Yeah.
name for himself everywhere.
Yes, sir.
All right, I can't wait to watch this fight. It is happening soon. For the promo code, it's just Hinds, right? K4 Hinds.
K4 Hinds. Oh, I also did want to give a big shout out to my buddy Aiden Richardson. He's going to be fighting in the
Oh, yes, sir.
junior division. I cannot forget him. He's been working super hard, just been putting in all the hours, eating right, still doing great in school as best as he can. And, training even at his house. We show up at his house, and, that's another thing. His mom and his father and his brother and his family are just totally invested. I cannot stress enough how much it means to see him have such a good support system. We just talked about the wives, but to have the family, an entire generation just putting you on their shoulders and wanting to put you in the right place, it's awesome to watch. But yeah, Aiden Richardson, he's coming in hot. Dude is a hot shot. I love sparring with him. If I had to compare him to anybody right now, he's built like Sean Doyle. He's as fast as Sean Doyle, one of our former champions here in K4, and he's just a heavy hitter. He's fast. He's smart, and yeah, he's a fun kid to be around. So I mean, you sparred him before, so
Yeah.
it'll be good to finally see him make his debut. He's grown up in the gym. I've known him for almost 2 years now. I'm going on 3, so it's been a process to watch him come every day and be super committed. He's helped me get ready for fights, at 13, 14 years old. So it's crazy to think about now. He's like almost coming of age in the ring, and big shout out to Aiden, man. Like, yeah, I'm happy to have him around. So
Yeah,
yep.
I gotta give him a little bit of shout out too. He came in, he was beating everybody up in the gym. Like when he came in last year or 2 years ago,
Yep.
he was so
Yep.
fast, so technically sound too. Not just fast,
Yeah.
he's like explosive, but he's explosive in the right way. And
Yep.
he's doing the right things with his footwork, and he's moving out really well.
Yeah.
Which his stance is really good. He's like all over the place. He's a very well put together young man. And his mom reached out to me to help him get this fight. I was like, reach out to Keith. Let's go.
Yeah, no, and that's what I mean. He has that support system that can catapult a fighter, to great things, even on days when you're not motivated. To have a household full of people that are just like, all right, what are we doing today? What's the plan? It can push you really hard. And yeah, he's great technically. He's very technically sound. He gives me trouble in certain positions, and he makes me want to go harder, because I realize how much time he has ahead of him. And it's just like, man, you keep going, and I get to see what you're looking like in 2-3 years, even just 6 months from now. It's an amazing process to watch, and I feel blessed to have him around in the gym, seriously. So big shout out to Aiden Richardson. Good luck to him and his opponent. But yeah, I know how that one's going to turn out.
That one's going to be a great fight. You can watch
Yes, sir.
that fight and this 140-pound Muay Thai title fight. Both are happening Saturday, November 8th. K4 Battlegrounds. It's K4 and Art of Combat. I'm sorry, Eric. I don't mean to keep cutting out the Art of Combat part. Art of Combat and K4 getting together for Battlegrounds. It's Saturday, November 8th. The tickets are available at riverworks.com/events. You get the pay-per-view at k4fighting.tv. You'll hear me. You'll hear Ray Arias. You'll hear Ben Field. 3 of the best in the calling game. And this fight is going to be off the chain. I believe the doors open at 5 and the fights start at 6. And
yes, sir.
That's how they generally are. And we'll be there. I'll have my suit on. And I'll be talking all nice and stuff. I'll try and use big people words like Keenan, so I sound like a grown up.
Oh, man.
That's all I got for tonight, guys. Peace out. Remember, K4 Hinds, when you buy your tickets, support the fighters.
Let's go.